Dan, good to see you, sir.
Nice to see you as well.
Um, we ran into each other recently at the Permanent, not
That's
too
right.
long ago. Yeah,
What show is that again? I've been to a lot of shows there recently.
that was Color Green, I
Right,
believe.
right.
Yes, I have a good feeling that it was Color Green. Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
I was standing there and I turned around and you and Tim were just right there.
Tim and I, we hang out pretty often.
No, it was nice to
Yeah,
see. Yeah,
yeah.
it was good. I said, well, these are the guys.
Him and I are very old friends, way before OC stuff. So
Yeah, did you guys? I mean, initially met in San Francisco around that time when you guys were both living up there.
yeah, yeah. Like years and years before we joined the same band, we've been
Mhm.
friends forever.
Nice. I love to see it. I said, this is a great this is a great thing to see. So if
Yeah.
anybody ever sees Tim and Dan out and about, you just
Say
see that
hello.
and go, wow. Also say hello, but also just admire it. You go, wow. Here they are. The boys are back in town.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's been about 2 years, I think, since you last came on here, Dan.
Yeah, I'm in a different place now, different house.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
because the first time we did this, I came over to what is now your old place to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now,
I
not to give,
upgraded. I got a nicer spot now.
oh, good. You like it better than the old
Yeah,
place. All right.
yeah, I do.
And we're not talking shit on the old place. Old place was good too.
No, it served me fine for 7 years. Really good rent control. It's very cheap.
Yeah, it was a nice place.
Yeah.
Now, not to get too specific here, but is it in the same area of whence you were?
It's not too far. That was an Echo Park. I'm in like Silver Lake now.
Okay, so for those who don't know LA, that's quite a drive away. That's about 4 hours, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
4 hours to go. About a mile and a half. Yeah,
Do you have your routes of like or routes rather of how to get places without?
yeah. I
Yeah.
just had to go to my old neighborhood this morning, and I have my little back streets to avoid this one really busy street that's congested literally any time of any day.
Yeah, San Francisco was way better, right?
I
Seven by
mean,
7 mile.
7 by 7 miles, but still, I didn't have a car there, but I had a job where I drove like a big box truck, like a UPS type truck. And that was its own nightmare driving around that city with a huge, huge truck because the streets are so tiny.
Going down Lumbar is an issue, you're saying.
It's an issue. Yeah.
Did you ever know anybody who lived on that street?
On Lombard, no, I went to college at the end of it though. So I
Okay, so
was, I
you
would
would you
cruise
would
down
use
a lot.
their driveways and stuff to park the box truck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I always think about it, it's like, man, that really suck to live there,
I
because you
know.
gotta, wait.
Nonstop tourism, people getting stuck all the time. I like to walk down it though. It was always really fun because my school was literally like a block away from there.
But walking back up, that's a different story.
Yeah, no thanks.
I understand that. I get where you're coming from, Dan, and I respect it.
Thank you.
Yeah. The hilly areas, yeah, come on.
Get out of town.
I mean, walking's fine, but it's just the aggressive hills of San Francisco. That's another issue.
Too aggressive. Yeah.
Way too aggressive.
The only
Um,
reason I left. No, I'm just joking.
yeah, that's it. It's the hills, and that was, yeah.
That was it. Yeah.
That'll do it. That's the
Hmm.
valid reason.
Yeah.
But you recently put out your debut solo album.
I did about a month ago. About a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Does it still feel like a recent release, a new release?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I kind of forget about it. I'm like, well, yeah. Yeah. But that's just the way it goes.
When does an that is recently released finally feel like it's not new anymore? It loses its newness.
Until the next good record comes out, which is usually like a week and a half, week maybe.
All right, so just about a week of shelf life on that.
Yeah, I got a week of feeling real good. No, no, I'm really proud of it. I think it just sold out, so that's cool. That's nice for like a first record. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
would I would wager that's nice for any wet record, let alone a
Yeah.
first one. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it was a small release and like a pretty niche sounding record. So I was happy, very proud to see that it sold out.
So if you have one,
Thank you.
and if you didn't get one,
You could probably get them at shops. I don't know.
no, you can get them.
Yeah,
They're out, but they're limited, and we don't
the
even
limited
know.
one's gone. Yeah,
I mean, even the rest that are out are very limited numbers. So and
yeah,
I heard that it's not even going to be a repress. So I think it's going to be like, yeah,
yeah. Probably not a repress unless down the line somebody wants to do it again. But that's probably going to be it.
no,
Yeah,
it's super rare. So if you can even find one at this point, I mean, really get those Discogs once up, and
yeah. You could probably get for $14 used, maybe.
we'll see, we'll
No,
see.
yeah, I know. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll check the numbers on that. We'll come back to that. But yeah, that's amazing, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. When did you start kind of working on that album?
Uh, like that record's kind of mixed recordings from like the last like 3.5 years, 4 years probably. I kind of like picked some stuff from when I first started just like writing, and then I made some new stuff like a year or so ago, maybe 2 years. But within over the course of like 4 years, I've just kind of been working on music, and then I decided like to put together a record and kind of picked my favorites from some things and kind of smushed it all together and tried to uh, edit out all the hissing and stuff from like the early recordings when I didn't know what I was doing.
Um, but the hiss gives character just a little bit at least, right?
Yeah, there was some I could not remove, so there's a little bit in there.
And that's an artist choice right there. That wasn't a
Ex
fuck up. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
intentional.
as an artist choice of not learning how to record properly.
That's still a choice.
That's a
So,
choice. Yeah.
did you feel like you were kind of exploring new areas within music with this whole record?
I mean, I've liked that kind of music for ages and ages and ages. So I don't know. No, I don't know. I've been writing, like making music like that on my own forever and a fan of it for years and years and years. But as far as like releasing something, then I guess it's vastly different than like OCs or other bands I've been in and stuff.
Keeping people on their toes.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people got a hold of me saying it was not what they expected, which I think is pretty great.
That's good. Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
sure that they meant it well because that's
I
not
hope
a really
so.
great way of structuring the sentence.
No, I got a lot of from friends being like, "It's actually pretty good." Like, "Oh, thanks. Thank you." I understand. I don't yeah, I think it's funny.
What was it like kind of putting this album together, these kind of sounds and the genre of something that you've been admiring for so many years?
It's fun. Like it's, you know, the whole thing was like a learning process, especially a lot of the early recordings it was using like modular synthesizer stuff and even that I was just kind of still figuring out how to do it. Which I mean, I'm still doing that. It's just the nature of that kind of instrument, but you know, it was just like a fun learning experience to be like, okay, I think I could do this, and then thinking to myself, like, I think this is good. And then, you know, when John wanted to release the record, it was like, oh, it is good. Okay, good enough, you know, for someone to put it out. So it was a really fun experience. And
Was
it's
that
something I just do on my downtime when I'm on tour and stuff. So it was nice to show something for it.
yeah? Was that kind of a point of validation for you that you got the sign off? Like, let's release this.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people are like this, but with, you know, even OC stuff, you hear it a million times when we're writing, and I'm like, you get to that point of being like, is this good? I can't tell if this is good. Like, you know, you're in such a position where it's your own music. It's hard to, I don't know, judge. But yeah, no, it was. And when John, I didn't really expect John to put it out. I just sent him some stuff being like, hey, check this out. Like, you know, just as friends to be like, this is what I've been working on. Then when he was asked me to release it, like, oh, like I didn't really expect that. It was really nice.
Yeah, that must have been an amazing experience for you.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was the perfect place to put it out too.
Castle Face.
Yeah, great label.
Is that John's label or is he a part owner of that or
It's yeah, it's John's label. Yeah.
okay. All right. That was a Reddit question.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, so yeah. a lot of people said, "Hey, please ask Dan about this very specific thing about Castle Face." I said, "Okay, yeah, you got
I
it."
mean, I don't really know the inner workings of the label, honestly, but yeah, it's John's label.
The next Reddit question is, "What is your favorite kind of sandwich?" If
It,
you,
I'm gonna say I'm kind of a French dip man. Living in LA, we got some good French dips.
all right, well, there's a point of contention with the French dip over
I know
there.
they're both good. I like Philippe's, but Cole's is nothing to shake a stick
I
at.
haven't been to Cole's, but I know
Cole's is good.
okay.
There's like a at least the last time I haven't been there in a while. There's like a secret jazz bar in the back, which is really nice, like a cocktail bar with a little jazz band playing. I like that.
All right, yeah, it's not. Isn't that where Bukowski's urinal is? Is in there as
Is
well?
that? I have no idea actually. It
I
might
think
be.
I think it's in Cole's, and I think it says like Charles Bukowski piss here, like over the over a specific urinal, I believe.
That, that checks out.
Okay. When did you decide though that it's like, all right, it's time to actually get all this stuff together, all these songs together that I've been working on, and finally do something with it?
I don't know when, but I remember why. It was like I was buying all this equipment, that I liked, and that stuff's fucking it's expensive. But it's something I like to do and I enjoy doing it. It's like a hobby, but I was like, I want to have something to show for this. So I just it was kind of over the pandemic, really, when I was like, all right, I'm gonna like buckle down and like put together a record, like take some old stuff and write some new stuff. So probably pandemic when I didn't work for a while.
That's when the creative juices get flowing,
Yeah, really. Yeah,
like a French dip sandwich.
exactly.
Bingo. Um, yeah, I have full disclosure, I have not tried the French dip sandwich, but the last time I was in Philippe's, I got some sort of cheese sandwich. And
You
do
went to
you
Philippe's and you didn't get the French dip sandwich.
I did not get the French dip sandwich. I believe
I
I
think
got
that's against the rules there.
I know. I let me take this time. I apologize to Philippe. I apologize to all the patrons. I
Yeah,
know
thank you.
I was out of line coming from another county.
Yeah,
I
you come to our city and you don't get the French dip sandwich.
I know. However, I was speaking to Cole earlier that day, and he was mentioning some good points. So I thought I don't want to fuel this fire.
You enjoy both, you know? They're both good.
Look, you got to pick a side, Dan. I hate to be that guy, but you gotta
Okay,
choose.
I'll pick a side. I'm a Philippe's man. I like their spicy mustard. It's crazy. And
Yes,
Neil Young goes there, so that's cool.
I did not know that. That then
I was there. Here's a little story. I'll make it quick. I was
no, no,
there
no.
a couple
Please
months
make
ago.
embellish it, make it long, make it like a Game of
Well,
Thrones season. Yeah.
it is a short story anyway, so I'll do what I can. But I was there a few months ago, just having lunch, and I was looking on Instagram and I saw a friend of mine posted a story of Neil Young eating there like 30 minutes ago. And I texted my friend. I was like, did this just happen? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm at Philippe's right now and I missed Neil Young by like 20 minutes by the sound of it.
Have you seen Neil Young, by the way, just perform?
No, it's a great shame that I haven't. Like I'm always either gone or it's sold out and like I don't know like who to call to try to get emergency Neil Young tickets. Like I've never had the opportunity to see him and I will jump at the first chance I get to because I'm a huge fan of his and it would be great to see
Neil, if you're listening,
him. He probably
um,
is, right?
yeah, he'd be most likely.
Yeah.
He's always commenting and stuff. Yeah. And it's weird. It's Neil Young Vivo on
Oh,
the
strange.
yeah, very odd. Didn't know that they can comment through those channels. What was a recent concert that you went to that you were like, yeah, this is pretty good.
I went and saw I actually DJ'd it, but I went and saw this old 80s SST band called Saccharine Trust play my favorite record of theirs, Pagan Icons. And Hot Load and Bloodstains opened the show. And me and my friend Kirk, who lives in New York, got to play records between each band. But that was cool to see Saccharine Trust play that record because it's like that was like one of the first punk records I bought when I was like 14 or whatever.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Now, what were you playing in the interludes?
Mostly like punk and like heavy glam and stuff like that. All 45s. I just brought like a big box of 45s.
Do you prefer to DJ punk stuff or heavier stuff rather than, I don't know, like jazz or what have you?
No, I like DJing, but you know, I grew up when I was a kid, just like DJing punk venues and like punk nights at bars. But it's always fun to get asked to do other things. Like I DJ'd OCS show, one of those two of them, and was able to just kind of play like the weirder stuff that I really enjoy. And that's always kind of a treat.
So you like to flex the old vinyls of the weirder stuff,
Yeah, I do.
soundscapes and what have you.
Or just yeah, just just weird stuff where I'm like, oh, cool. This is like a one of those shows where I could do stuff like play stuff like that, and nobody would care. Nobody would care either way, but for me, it feels good.
What do you want to hear when you go to a DJ night or somebody is DJing at a bar that you are at? I mean, I know it's kind of circumstantial, but like, what is a good thing that you like genre that you like to hear in that circumstance?
I mean, that depends on the show, I guess. There was this one guy, I can't remember his name, this Japanese musician who recently passed away, but he was at a restaurant and complained about he's like this isn't the kind of music I want to listen to at a restaurant, so he went home and made a 24-hour playlist of the music he would want to hear at like a fancy restaurant and sent it to the owner saying, I'm so and so, and uh this is what I made and this is what I would want to hear, and now they play that at the restaurant and you can find it on Spotify and it's pretty good.
So are you also kind of putting together some playlists for some
Mm,
restaurants?
that's too much work. I appreciate the effort on his part though.
24 hours, that's a
It's
lot.
something like that. It's crazy. Yeah.
Are you a playlist player when you're in your car?
I am. I have one that I've just been adding music to for years that I like or like will discover and think is interesting, and I'll just add it to a playlist. And that's like my go-to default if I don't know what to listen to, or if I'm like I usually listen to the radio, honestly. But if there's nothing interesting on that, then I have like a go-to playlist. Or if there's like passengers in the car and I don't know what to play, I'll just put that on.
Are you flexible with who's playing music while you're driving?
Absolutely. I don't like being in charge of that. I would much prefer someone else to be.
Hmm.
Less pressure. I keep my eyes on the road, concentrate, be a
Hmm.
safe driver.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you are not at fault in any collisions or anything like that. You're
Two
trying
hands on
to
the wheel, two hands looking forward, two eyes looking forward.
two
Yeah.
hands as well. Yeah. One thing that people I don't think really grasp about you. I mean, yeah, you make music and you're doing all these cool stuff, but also great driver.
I will say this. I think I am. I enjoy driving. I've had two jobs where I had to drive for a living. I'm a very safe, competent driver. I drive a stick shift. I prefer direct control, you know.
That's right. I forgot about your bug situation, your Volkswagen shenanigans, we'll
Yeah,
say.
I know. I don't have my bug anymore, but I have a newer Volkswagen. Yeah.
Hmm. A Passat.
Golf GTI.
I was really thinking the second one would be a Jetta, but that's fine. It's all right.
Yeah, they're nice though. I like Volkswagens. They're good cars.
Were you ever a reckless driver as a youth, perhaps?
Probably. My first car was a 1970 Volkswagen bus with like the big steering wheel.
Yeah,
And, you know, I was a kid, teenager. So yeah, I was probably a bit too reckless then, but no longer. Now I'm very responsible.
would you Dukes a Hazard a Volkswagen if it needed if you're trying to get away from somebody or something like that?
Most likely.
Mhm. And
Actually, yes, 100%.
I mean, especially those buses are made for jumping. and doing
Yeah.
crazy stuff like that.
And they just go so fast, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. When you're driving on a freeway in
Mhm.
Los Angeles, let's make it home turf for this one.
Sure.
Driving on the freeway, the far left lanes are getting shut down, closed off. It's kind of narrowing in. They're closing down the lanes. Are you letting people in? Are you kind of breaking and letting certain people
I'm
in?
zipper merging
Mm-hmm.
one for one. That's the rule of the road, in my opinion. A zipper merge. Then people start to get greedy. You can kind of take your spot back. But I'm all about a safe zipper merge.
No, I've heard about this method a lot lately.
Hmm.
And I think it's important that we as a society are talking about it.
No, a zipper merge, a proper zipper merge. That's smooth as it gets. Everyone needs to be on the same page about this, especially in a city like Los Angeles. It
Sure.
would solve half the problems of the traffic.
Do you feel like traffic has gotten progressively worse since you've lived there?
It's been progressively bad. I'm from here, so like even as a child, yeah.
As a child driving around in the
In
van,
my mom's car, we had to take the 405 when I was a kid because I lived on that side of town. It's always been bad. It's always going to be bad.
were you
You
were
know,
you were you always east side, west side? Or were you
I was West Side growing up,
west side?
and then I moved to Ventura for like high school, and then San Francisco, and then I moved back like 10 years ago on the East Side.
Do you think your time in Ventura gave you appreciation for Northern California?
Ventura's like an hour north of LA, so
I know, but it's giving you a little taste of what
I
it's
guess it
like.
gave
Yeah,
me a little taste. That's why I moved there. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's that's why I always wondered. All right. And did your folks still live in Ventura area?
Yeah, yeah, they do. I just saw them yesterday, actually. It's nice. I get to see them a lot more now that we live in almost the same city.
But at the end of the day, they are Northern California and you're Southern California.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
What was coming back to LA like after your schooling in San Francisco? Did you feel
It
like it
was
had
nice.
changed at all?
Um, yeah, probably. Like obviously like the neighborhoods I lived in when I moved back were a lot different when I was growing up here. It felt like a new city to me, probably, but that age difference probably, you know, accelerated that.
In your time up north?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to talk to everybody who lives in LA. It's either your west side or your east side, and it's not
That's kind
really,
of true.
yeah. Where is a city in America that you have spent only a brief amount of time in that you thought, okay, I can see myself living here?
Missoula, Montana, weirdly
Uh,
enough. Like when I'm older, I really enjoy it. I've been there just a couple times. Sometimes we'll play there, but oftentimes we'll just like stay the night there because it happens to fall in like a long stretch of driving we have when we do this US tours. And I really like it. There's a really great record store. I can't remember what it's called. It's got a lot of charm. I like it.
Missoula.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I know I'm not alone. Like I have a lot of musician friends that are like, yeah, but something about Missoula is pretty cool.
Oh, so this is an open secret in the industry, Missoula.
Kind of, at least within my dumb friend. But yeah.
All right. I haven't been, but I will take your word for it,
Yeah,
Dan.
put it on your list.
I will
Pretty
put
fun.
Cole's French dip, Missoula.
Yeah.
Have
Or
you?
Philippe's.
Well, I've been to Philippe's, and
You kind of have it though if you haven't had the French dip.
look, I've stepped foot. I've had sawdust on my shoe. In terms of food on the road, what are you looking for? Are you looking for something specifically? Are you dipping into the local cuisine? What's your stance on that kind of stuff?
You don't get a lot of uh, you're forced to eat a lot of crap a lot of the time. Because there's no time or you're like in the middle of nowhere and you have to go to like a gas station. But we, I hate to say it, But nowadays, we go to if there's like a Whole Foods we can hit up on the way outside of town, that's like the easiest way to accommodate everybody, and we can get like stuff for the road. And now Whole Foods are everywhere, so it's just kind of easy.
What's your stuff at Whole Foods?
I'm a big kombucha guy.
Hmm.
Um, just I'll just hit up the hot bar and see what they got. You know,
I've heard of this move before. Yeah,
yeah,
hot
pretty
bar.
easy. You know,
Is there something that you just put your foot down? I'm not having this anymore. This is not up my alley, and I've learned that.
me I don't like oysters really or mussels. We go to a lot of restaurants on tour. Everyone gets, oysters for the table, which is fine. Everyone else can enjoy them, but I try and I don't think I like it.
And
I think
you
it's a texture thing.
okay, yeah, that's understandable. But
It's
you ask
nasty.
them, "Hey, where's your hot bar?" Because this is
Yeah,
not
I
gonna
go,
cut it.
can you make me a French dip? That's what I say. Any restaurant that has oysters.
And then they go, "You
Absolutely
think this
not.
is what the fuck
Yeah.
you think this is, Coles?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. In terms of fast food, now I know that that probably doesn't suit your fancy that often.
No, I
Uh,
got opinions.
all right. What's top level? I want to ideally go here, and what are you getting?
Okay. There's three for different occasions for me. I don't eat fast food very often. If once a month, maybe less, I treat myself because I'm from Southern California to Del Taco. And I like if I get a burrito, I like to go bold and put like the French fries in it and whatever weird cheese sauce. And then if I'm in the neighborhood and it's not packed, I'll go to In and Out just because it's just In and Out. But if I'm like tired and lazy and I'm coming back from like a concert or something, it's disgusting, but I'll go to Jack in the Box. But three different things. But ideally, it's either Del Taco or if there's no crowd, In and Out.
What are you getting at In and Out if there's not
A
a
double
crowd?
double, a double double with fries, and I like the pink lemonade, and I mix it with the iced tea.
That's a wild move. I didn't think you're gonna.
Arnold Palmer, yeah,
I didn't think you're gonna throw. Yeah, but Arnold Palmer with a pink lemonade. That's just something else.
I like the pink lemonade. Yeah,
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's wild. Okay. Now, in terms of Jack in the Box, that is a interesting pull. What are you
it's
doing there?
gross. It's gross. I know it's gross, but there's one close to my house, and if
Hmm.
everything's closed or something, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go Jack in the Box. I really will only get like a sourdough Jack, and I like their curly fries, and those weird tacos are okay.
I will say this about Jack in the Box: they are the only ones doing the curly fries. Only fast food joint that's doing it.
Doing it right, yeah, you know. And the weird tacos, I think are okay. I weirdly like the hot sauce. That's like a very late night move for me when everything else is closed.
Hmm. Uh, Now I noticed that McDonald's is not on the radar or anything like that.
No,
Hmm.
I don't got time. I'm not interested.
Burger King does not pique the interest.
Maybe if we're traveling, I'll get a crispy chicken sandwich. That's about it from there, but not very often. No, I don't know when the last time I went to McDonald's was when I was a child.
Up in Northern California or
Yeah, probably.
and in terms of Carl's Jr., is that on the table?
That's not even on the radar.
Okay.
And I got my horse blinders on, looking for
Right?
Adele. You know,
Yeah, sure. And in terms of the Taco Bell, is that in rotation? Rarely, at least.
that's for like emergencies. Again,
Okay.
that's like if we're in the middle of nowhere and everyone in we all need to eat and we're like, well, there's a Taco Bell, then I'll go. But I don't go on my spare time.
Wendy's
Wendy's is okay, kind of a wild card, often forgotten about, but pretty good.
and Arby's.
So I don't even know. Never been.
I feel like that is a common answer to that. Never been.
Yeah, I am sad about the Arby's that is just closed in Hollywood with the big hat sign. Did you hear about this?
No, but I know what you're talking about. It's like one of the last ones that I've seen with the original roast beef
Yeah,
hat. Yeah, on what was it on Sunset or something like that?
it's either Sunset or Hollywood. I think it's
Hmm.
Sunset. Apparently, though, it's in the clause of whoever buys it that they have to keep the sign, so that's nice.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the identity of Los Angeles in the areas that you've frequented has changed over time like that? Like, oh, we're bringing that like nostalgia feeling back or something like that, or maybe just a new restructuring of everything.
Not so much really, but I don't think Echo Park has ever been the same after the Happy Foot, Sad Foot sign got taken down. You know about this?
No.
There's like it used to be about right by my old house. There's this foot massage place that had a spinning sign, and one side of it had like a foot with a face that was happy, and the other side was like a foot on crutches, and he had like a bandage on his toe, which would be like where his hair is.
Hmm.
And the the old thing was if you drove by it and it was happy, you'd have like a good day, and if it was the sad side, then you're gonna have a bad day. And that's gone now, and I don't think Echo Park's ever really recovered.
That was a sign of the times changing.
Hmm. Yeah,
Dylan would have wrote about it if he had known about it.
absolutely. Yeah,
Right. And in terms of Missoula, do you think that that has
Missoula's just doing its thing, you know. I'm merely a visitor, so I can't say.
once you move there though, you'll get a read on the place.
Yeah, I'll have my finger on the pulse. Yeah,
Maybe put up a new foot sign or something.
that would be cool if they had a foot sign.
I mean, they probably do. It's Missoula,
Yeah, maybe they got a bit of everything.
a bit of everything. Now Dan, kind of steering this conversation back to music for just a moment, and we'll get back on signage and whatnot. Um, in terms of albums for you, is there albums that you've been looking for, that you've been wanting, that you haven't been able to find? Maybe in Missoula in this record store that if it comes to you, you will say, and we will promote the business.
Well, there was a record that I've been looking for forever, and I finally just found it. So
Mhm.
I don't know there's not really anything particular I'm looking for right now. But there was this record by a Japanese group. It's like the Japanese Devo called P Model, and the album's called like In a Model Room, I believe. And I've been trying to find it forever. I don't think it's not necessarily rare, but I don't think it was ever pressed in America, so it's just difficult to find here. And we were in Japan a couple months ago, and I was like, I am going to find this record while I'm in Japan. And I found it, and I was happy as can be. That was like something I've been looking for forever. I didn't want to buy it online because the shipping was so crazy from Japan. So that was my goal when I was in Japan, was to find a copy of that, and I did. Made me really happy. It's a great record.
Did it take a shorter amount of time than you thought it would to find the record?
Yeah, I went to like a small record store that specializes in like new wave, I guess, and he was playing the record over the speakers, and I was like, "Oh, is this for sale?" And he's like, "Yes, it is." And that was it. It was like the second day I was there.
That is very odd, though.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that was odd? Like this is the exact record that I'm looking for?
They were pretty big in Japan, so you know, not really. And that was like a record store catered to that type of music, so it was like the perfect storm.
Still, though, after all the records in that thing, and
I know.
I would look at that as like, wow, this is a crazy kind of coincidence here,
Yeah, but I got it, so the stars aligned.
and it made it back
Made it back. Yeah, yeah. It's sitting comfortably in my records behind me.
in the new in the guest bathroom or the master bathroom,
Just the my living room area.
the
I'm in
fourth
the dining room right now.
the fourth one because it's 4 stories,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Four stories. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is my record room. Yeah, I wish.
Let's
Jeez.
just say that the tour went really well. We'll just say that.
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. Oh God, I wish. I wish I could have a four-story house in LA. That'd be crazy.
That's a little bit too much house though, no? I mean,
Yeah.
moving up like that,
Too much. Well, I don't know what I would do. It'd be overwhelming. Yeah.
you'd figure it out. Put like an indoor pool or something like that.
Yeah, maybe like a skate park or something. I don't know.
Yeah, just thrashing it up.
I guess. Learn how to skate again.
When did you when did you and skateboarding part ways?
Probably in San Francisco. I skated growing up though. Ventura, I moved to Ventura for high school, and there was about three things to do as a youth. It was surfing, skating, and going to punk shows. So
Did you indulge in all three?
I did. Yeah.
Now, has surfing re-entered your life?
No, it hasn't. Not much of a beach goer these days. Too much sand.
Yeah, that's yeah. A little known fact about the Southern California beaches, a lot of
Yeah.
sand there.
Too much.
Too much
Give me a
sand.
pool. I'll go to a pool. No sand there.
Would you experiment with a wave pool? I mean, you've heard about this. Kelly Slater's kind of doing it and stuff.
I would love to try that. I see these videos. It looks like a lot of fun.
Kelly Slater. So just running a tally here. Kelly Slater, Neil Young, help Dan out.
Yeah, if you guys are listening, leave a comment or whatever.
Leave a comment below. Yeah, reach out to Dan. Tell him, hey,
Hmm.
come by the surf farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. When was the last time you surfed? Roughly.
Oh, high school.
Mhm.
Yeah. I had many injuries from it. It's really fun, but I wasn't particularly good. I busted my nose on the bottom of the sea floor, and then one time I was wearing a wetsuit, and it was like particularly rough that day, and I had a leash on my surfboard, and I like bailed out, and then the wave like flung my surfboard back at me, and the fin went through my wetsuit and stuck into my sternum, and I had to go to the hospital. So since high school.
Did you get blood on your board from riding it in?
Oh yeah, yeah, it looked cool.
Yeah, that's really sick.
I was probably crying, but
No, but on the onset, you're like, this is rad.
yeah, look at that.
Do you think that there will be a time that you will get back on a surfboard?
I don't think so. For fun maybe, but no, I can't. I don't want to skate. Surfing would be different. I'm clumsy as hell, and if I break my wrists or something, like I broke both my wrists skateboarding. If I did that nowadays, that would suck for a lot of people. Like my bandmates would be like, what are you doing?" Like,
So the optimal time to be doing that was about 4 years ago.
y-
Is when you could have afforded to do that.
probably, yeah, during the COVID days.
Hmm. Okay. All right, Dan.
Yeah.
So
What about you? Do you surf or skateboard? You live in
man,
SoCal?
you know what's funny about that? I always wanted to surf. I'm inland though. Not I mean it's
Oh,
really
okay,
really not an excuse. I mean I'm on like the last town of the east side of Orange County here in Yorba Linda,
gotcha.
and then it's Riverside County, which is still
Oh, right, yeah,
not that far away at all. But no, I just never got into surfing.
yeah.
I would just hate that. I wouldn't want to impose myself on somebody's,
You don't want to
way.
ruin someone's wave. Yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah,
I'm
I
very
feel that.
ocean conscious, being from Southern California, as you are. Of
Yeah,
hey, I mean, because we are in our hearts Beach Boys, and it's like
exactly.
I'm not gonna fuck that up. I'm not gonna ruin the reputation that
Yeah,
the Beach Boys set. You know,
I'm kind of like the Brian Wilson Beach Boy though, where he hated the ocean. You know?
still a Beach Boy.
Yeah, he would probably
Maybe
agree with me about the sand issue though.
maybe the most beach out of all the boys.
But he was, couldn't he not swim or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know only one of them really surfed, but they had this
Yeah.
whole image. Now, I've heard a story about Brian Wilson in the later years having this big ass like grand piano really expensive one, like in one of his rooms, and put sand all in the room.
Oh, so he wouldn't agree with me about the sand problem at the beach.
I think that he would actually agree with you that it's a problem that it's at the beach and not in the home. You,
Okay, right.
you see what I'm saying? There's kind of a
I
middle
see what you're
ground there.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
And then some sort of tune he like called it his tuner or whatever to like come over and like he's like, oh, this is kind of acting up. He's like, what the fuck is this? There's sand everywhere. It's inside the fucking piano. It's outside the piano. This is a real issue.
That's how they got that surf sound. Yeah,
I think so. I think that had something to do with it for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Are you a big swimmer though in general, minus the
I
board
do
meeting?
enjoy I enjoy swimming. Yeah, I do. I prefer pool these days, but I do like to swim. Yeah. It's good exercise, feels good, you know.
Yeah. So you're not really hitting the ocean.
Not hitting the ocean so much. And also, you go to the ocean, it's a whole day activity. I don't know. It's a lot.
It's a whole thing.
I'd rather go to a pool, spend a couple hours, go home after, take a nap.
Now, in terms of inside pools, indoor pools, are you
Always
in?
pretty.
Are you out?
I'm out. Yeah, too stuffy indoors, too humid.
So when you will put yours in I'm what I'm assuming is the maybe the third floor or the second floor of your
No,
fourth.
that's it's gonna go on the roof.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. All right.
yeah.
Get
On
the
the maybe the fifth floor roof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever. That's where the pool's going is on the roof. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Have you swam in all the oceans?
I don't know. I'm not probably not. I swam in quite a few of them, but probably not all of them. I couldn't list all of them, so I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that, but I I've swam in quite a few of them. I know that. I was just in the Adriatic Sea. That was beautiful.
Which is where
I
does
think it's
that?
called the Adriatic, and off of Italy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
But like the coastline of it.
yeah. We were
Mhm.
in at Hanabi in Ravenna. I think that I want to say that's the Adriatic.
Steal a page from your book, Dan. Please let us know below. Because we're not gonna yeah we're not gonna check it out, but we will certainly take your views on where the Adriatic Sea is
Hmm.
and the various straits.
Yes,
Bering Strait, the Strait of
I don't know where that
Gibraltar.
is. Yeah, I'm not
Bering
sure
is
where that is.
Bering is the one that separates Russia from Alaska
There you go.
up there. Gibraltar is Spain
And
and
Africa, right? Like the Northern Africa.
bingo.
Okay, I do know that. Yeah,
Yeah, because that's where
yeah.
you like to not even summer, just like July it. Not the whole
Hmm.
summer, but yeah, and you're headed out there soon, right?
Next week we're going to Mongolia, and
That's fucking
then
crazy. Is that
I
for real?
yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm going in like a few days, I think. Maybe yeah, next week. And then after that, we're going to a couple places in Europe, some couple quick trips. But Mongolia should be a trip. Yeah, I have no idea what to expect. I have like one friend who's been there, and he went there to become a falconer, which weirdly makes more sense than me going there to play like rock and roll music. But I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, there is. Well, I'll first of all just to get your last point answered. What to expect is a wall. Be prepared to see a wall.
A big one, right? What's the other word for big? Oh, great.
I think that's a place. If you had the time, just go over there and just check it out, just touch it or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know what is in what's the plan. I really don't know. I'm really looking forward to it though.
how many falconers do you know?
One. Yeah,
That
just one.
that's a lot. I'm
Yeah.
just letting you know.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I went to his house not that long ago, and he's kind of got like a barn thing going on. And he has a horse. Now he has a little pony. Got a couple goats, a couple falcons. I got to hold a owl that he has. I think his job is pretty interesting. He takes his falcons to like the airport. They hire him to like get rid of like pigeons and stuff.
to the airport to like
Yeah,
LAX,
I believe so. Yeah, or maybe Burbank. I'm not sure.
and he walks in with the glove.
Yeah,
I mean, how much does a falcon weigh?
probably a couple pounds. I don't know.
Yeah, a couple
The owl,
pounds.
the owl was really light. An owl was lighter than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
I haven't held the falcon though.
yeah, because they got the talons. Oh
Hmm.
man, yeah.
Yeah,
So in order to be a proficient falconer, you had to move to Mongolia for a bit.
I think that's where he learned to do it proper. I think. Yeah,
That really does sound like the place that is like you got if you're gonna hone in on that, Mongolia.
yeah. They've been doing it for what, centuries, probably. So yeah,
For sure.
that
And
would be
you
the.
know, that's just immediately you go, yeah, probably Mongolia area. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. That totally makes sense. Are you gonna bring him back a bird?
I think that might be illegal. Maybe I could bring some eggs.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Are you an egg guy with breakfast?
Yeah. I'm not much of a breakfast guy, but when I do, I like an egg sandwich or like a breakfast burrito quite a bit. Over medium. That's how I take it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Bacon, sausage,
I'd go bacon over sausage.
pancakes, waffles, French toast.
Probably a waffle. I like the crevices.
Yes. Yeah. I was hoping you were gonna say that, Dan.
Yeah, it's good
Does
for
he like
syrup.
the crevices? Um with going to all these different kind of places, I know Japan was the last place
Or
you
we just got back from Europe. It was Japan, then we had a little break, then we were in Europe for a little while.
okay, so now it's back to the continent of Asia.
Yes.
Um with I mean and with going to Europe and going to the Strait of Gibraltar and all these sorts of places, was there a place that you were just like really like took you aback? Like, whoa, I do feel like a foreigner here.
I mean, I've only been to Japan twice, and I'd say Japan probably. It's like, you know, a lot of Europe, not all of it, obviously. I could kind of get by, with relative ease of like ordering food or just like day-to-day stuff. But it's different in Japan. And it's amazing, but it's just things are done a little differently there. It's great. It's such a beautiful country.
Yeah. And the flight situation, good.
Like, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. I think it was like 11 hours one way and 10 because you're going west, instead of east. So it's
Yeah,
it's I think it might take longer to get to Europe than it does Japan from California.
yeah, because you usually have to go to what New York or something like that first, right, and then get over there or something
Yeah, or
like that.
just they usually go it just goes east, so you have a lot more ground to cover.
Yeah, I never thought about the flip side of that, or of like people even going to just Hawaii, from like New York, because you have to do a
It's
whole leg,
far.
yeah, over to California, then California to Hawaii, but that's only like I think it's 2,000 miles, and then Japan to Hawaii is like 4,000 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Again, Dan, I don't know if you want to do it or I'll do it, but
Yeah, let
let,
us know in the comments.
let us know. Let us know.
Ring the bell, subscribe,
Tell him, Dan. Tell him. I can't say it anymore. I can't plug myself. I need to
Yeah.
have a. I'm gonna start having people like do snippets of like you're listening to the Vineyard podcast. Then
Yeah,
just start.
what's that called? Like a radio, like a radio call or something. I just did a bunch of them for radio stations. That'd be fun to do.
Thanks for doing it for this podcast, Dan. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. With these different places, I mean, would you think that you would have had any interest in just kind of visiting these places, let alone playing shows there for people?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Japan, I would definitely go back to Japan to visit. I really like Holland. I like Amsterdam a lot. I can see myself living there. Maybe Utrecht too, but yeah, I really like Holland and Japan. Just seems like a good place with a good quality of life.
Missoula, Holland,
This
Japan.
is the top three. Yeah.
That's a tight top three.
Yeah.
All right. Um, yeah, with this is it now is this gonna wrap up the the tour, the most recent tour?
No, we got all summer. We're busy right now. It's like Mongolia, then Europe, then we're home for just a couple shows in Europe, and then we're home for a little while. Then we're going to. I'm gonna get the order all wrong for these, I know, but then we're going to England for like 4 shows, and then we're doing the U.S. or half of the U.S. Then we take a break and do the other half of the U.S. So it's just kind of getting started.
And at what point do you say, all right, we're done and I gotta get into falconry?
Probably around the winter time. Yeah,
That is definitely the months that you start being like, yeah, I gotta learn this.
yeah, yeah.
Aside from playing music on the road, Dan, what do you like to do? What do you just like to explore and just check out what's going on?
I mean, this is gonna sound crazy. I like spending time at home when I have breaks because we leave a lot, so it feels like a nice like staycation when I can just like relax at my home. Especially right now in LA, it's like 90 degrees. I'm like, I'm good. I'd like to stay in until the sun goes down a little bit. You know?
Right, right. And
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty like mellow when I'm off tour.
besides just getting into crazy car chases and stuff.
Yeah, going to all these different fast food places. You know?
Yeah, relaxing my ass, dude. You're jumping around. Did you ever not in a car, but as like a younger man in Northern California, run from the police from a party or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I've been arrested a couple times too, but yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, in college for sure. I was like a bad kid
In San Francisco.
in San Francisco, and not so much in Ventura, mostly in San Francisco when the parents were away. I was
When
18.
when you were away from your parents
Yeah,
is what it was. Not that they
yeah,
were away. It's not like they lived in San Francisco and said, "Oh, Dan's
no,
coming, we gotta move."
yeah. I went away and then I started acting up. Probably, yeah. Got arrested. That sucks. You know,
But not
young adult
anymore.
stuff.
Not anymore.
No,
You're
I'm getting old.
you're on the straight and narrow. You're getting back into surfing. You're becoming one with the
Yeah.
ocean. Falconry's on the table. You're a different guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, all right. Well, I mean that's I'm glad to hear it, but I would like to hear about like, did you hear that fucking Dan got arrested in Mongolia?
No, no, no. That'd be terrifying.
Can I finish what I heard? Dan got arrested in Mongolia, and they're like, this guy's pretty fucking chill. We should probably let him out without any problems. That's
That
what
see,
I
that
want to
sounds
hear.
cool. That
Yeah,
sounds cool. Yeah.
Dan taught
I'm
every
sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. My bad.
Dan taught everybody how to
Yeah,
falconry.
my buddy was here. He learned how to be a falconer here. I'm cool.
I also have that blood within me. I have
Yeah,
falconry
yeah.
blood in me.
I can learn. Yeah,
I'm I'm prone to learning. I'm here to help.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is there a place that you have not, or you have yet to play a show that you think it'd be really cool to play a show?
We really want to go, or at least, yeah, we want to go to South Korea. I would love to go to South Korea. I have not been there, and I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Hmm. I
I've
bet.
heard really good things about it. I met some fans from South Korea when we were in Japan. Like it's just been something we've been trying to do for a while. It just hasn't worked out. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, but we'll probably get there eventually. That's like number one on my list now.
What's uh what's a close second?
I've never been to Vietnam or Thailand. That would be fun. But hopefully we could. South Korea would be really fun. I would love to go there.
Like specifically like Seoul or something like that, somewhere like that.
Yeah, just like anywhere really. So, I mean, Seoul obviously, but I want to like try the food. I heard the nightlife's really fun there. It just seems like a good place to go. I've heard good things from friends that have been there.
With these these shows that have been occurring on this last leg. So these last legs of the tour and these upcoming legs of the tour. Are you guys going to be performing some of the newer stuff? Has that been kind of creeping into these sets?
We're working on how to do it because the new record doesn't have any guitars, and but we don't want to bring it, we don't really want to bring a lot of that equipment. So we're trying to figure out how to do it with guitars and stuff. Or it has a bass guitar, but John's not playing guitars on this record. So we've been like working on how to make it work. So hopefully, I can't say yes or no, but hopefully.
I that
There's a
that's what I,
couple ones that would be really good live that I think we could do. So we're working on it.
were you guys playing some stuff from Intercepted Message in these kind of ones on these
Yeah,
last
we
tours
did a
as well?
few. We did a few songs from that. Yeah.
I asked Tim when I believe the last time when he was on here in January about if he has a copy of like every album that he's played on with the OCs, and I think that he said he did not at that time have a copy of Intercepted Message. Do you own every a copy of every album that you've been on?
Yes. I think I have every single OC's record also. It's like a whole section of my record collection. Yeah. I have multiples of some of the ones that are like the colors. But yeah, no, I have every there's one that's like an acetate that I don't think I have. I might have one. I can't remember. But if I there might be one really limited release that I'm missing, but other than that, then yeah, definitely.
Did you try the place in Japan?
They didn't have it. Yeah.
Just as long as you asked.
I tried. Yeah. When I first joined, I had a few already, but then when I first joined, I asked John if I could take some home, and he's like, "Yeah, go take whatever you want." And I just grabbed all the stuff I didn't have.
Was that still in San Francisco?
No, that was in LA.
That was in LA.
Yeah,
Just want to get all the timelines correct here.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I
I don't.
didn't join until like right about when I moved to LA.
Mhm. This is all lining up.
Hmm.
Are you a person to put any records in a specific order? Oh, this has to go here and this has to go here and da, 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 da.
I mean, my record collection is in alphabetical order by last name, if it's like a person, and then at the end it goes soundtracks and then compilation, like box sets.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Hey, that's about all you need. No,
Yeah, it's too. Other than that, it's too much work. I'm gonna do really specific alphabetized records.
which that's not your style.
That's not my style.
What was getting your hands on a copy of Spotlight City for the first time like?
I was so pumped. It was really felt very special. Yeah, that record. I really love the artwork, and it's this artist I was a big fan of. And to be able to see it on vinyl, it just made me happy. To have my first record, it was cool. Yeah, it felt like when I was first started releasing records with bands I was in, when I first got like my first 7 inch of a group I was in or something like that. It was cool. It felt good.
What was the name of that artist again?
Donnie O'Donnell, he he lives in England, I believe. But yeah, I bought a painting from him years ago, and I just really loved his stuff. And he seems to be getting kind of popular, and I thought it would look just great on a record. And I was shocked to see that he hadn't done a record cover yet. So I like rushed to get a hold of him, and it worked out. I was really happy about it.
Yeah, Bert Hoover was just on here recently. He's like, "Ah, yeah, Dan took my idea. I wanted to use one of his pieces of art on my
I wa- it
record."
was one of those things. I was like, if I don't do this soon, somebody else is going to do it, kind of thing.
It was
And then I
Bert. That was the
commissioned
person who was going to do it.
it's for Bert, and then it's I commissioned him to do a painting of my parents' late dog, Ozzy. So it's my parents' old dog that's on the cover.
Okay, wow. So that was something that wasn't around until you asked for it.
Yeah, I sent him a couple photos of the dog. Yeah,
Wow.
he painted it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a very unique album cover there.
he's a great painter. His stuff's really cool.
It's great artistry, it's great music, and it's a great record.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and as everybody knows, so by the time this comes out, it's probably all sold out. So,
I think you could still get it from like probably Revolver, who does their distribution, probably like a black copy of it.
but it is so small amounts. I mean, by the time that you get to like the shipping information on like the checkout, it's probably already sold.
You're gassing it up. I love that.
That's just what I've
You
heard.
act, yeah, you got to act now. You got to buy that record now.
Again, it might be too late. Like you might have already had to have acted. You know, um, good luck is what we're saying here.
Yeah.
No, that's incredible. And for those who haven't listened to it, it's yeah, please go check it out.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good record.
It's really mellow. Good music to clean your house to, is what I always say.
It's actually a good record.
It's
That was a joke.
actually all
That's
right.
a joke, Dan. I would never say that in all seriousness. Um, yeah, with these songs that are on Spotlight City, did the names come to you while you were creating them along this 4 year period, or did it just kind of all come together later on?
I have a hard time with song names, so yeah, I usually like think about what I was thinking about or whatever when I was making it. Like Cessna, there was a period. It was I wrote that in the pandemic when there wasn't much to do, and I remember I was learning how to fly a Cessna plane on Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I wanted to make music like in that with that in mind. So that some of those are easy, and some of them I'm just like I can't, I don't know. I'll just find something that I don't know. I have a hard time with song titles. I'm just like grasping at straws, trying to find something that sounds good. Usually,
They all sound good. And by the way, just a real quick side note, do you think that you're pretty proficient in flying a Cessna if needed?
maybe like emergency, I would probably get maybe a C minus if they were to rate me on it. But I bet I could. I bet I could land that plane.
Okay.
Yeah, a really basic Cessna. Yeah,
Yeah, like the one that Microsoft has.
yeah, yeah,
All right. Hey,
yeah. Maybe I might pop a tire or something, but I bet I get that on the ground.
so what? That's cosmetic, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really think that you need tires on planes.
No, they're flying. They're in the air.
Yeah, it's not made to be driving around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, do you think that you could figure out how to taxi like a really big like a 747 or something like that?
I don't know. I tried messing around with those on the flight simulator. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. Probably not.
It's all stick shift at the end of the day.
I could drive that.
That's what I'm saying, Dan. If anybody can, you've got the mindset for it.
Yeah.
Um, Spotlight City Flyover is, is the title track of this album. Now, did that stand out to you early on that you felt like this is going to be the name of the album?
But there was like accompanying more songs that were part of that song, kind of. And I was trying to make something like, I don't know, Escape from New York or something where they would, some of the song titles of that are kind of just like the name of what's going on in that scene in the film. And there was another one, two other songs that were like in the same vein and named similar. And it was more like soundtracky about like a fake movie. And then when I was trying to name the album, I really liked the word Spotlight City for like a fake city. So yeah, I kind of used, and I almost didn't include that song, but I was like, I probably should because it has the name in it
That would have been so funny if you're like not on this one and then the next
on the
one
next one. Yeah. Yeah.
on the next one. What the fuck is this? Yeah,
Yeah. For the next one, I'm working on it right now. There's a song that's even older than anything on Spotlight City that I just didn't, I wanted to do something with that I think I'm going to put it on it. But the majority of this next one's going to be probably newer recordings.
legally, that's as far as we can get into that at this
Yeah, yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah.
Gonna have to talk to some lawyers about where it needs to be snipped in that. So,
Hmm.
I mean, I appreciate it. I will sign an NDA regarding that
Okay.
information.
Yeah. Otherwise, just bleep the last 2 minutes, just straight. You know.
Yeah, yeah, obviously. And
Yeah.
if it is bleeped, join us on the Patreon.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if you could ring that bell though, that'd be really helpful.
Yeah,
Give it a thumbs up.
ring the bell. Tell somebody about it, or don't, or just keep it on when you sleep. I don't know. I mean, help us out because Dan has invested a lot of money into this podcast here, and he
Yeah.
has not seen any return.
I'm the silent partner. Yeah.
This microphone is not free. It's like this shit costs money.
Mhm.
You might have to take a story off your house. I mean, let's just get brass bones about this. This is a
I
real
know.
fucking issue.
I might have to sell that pool. Mhm.
And we don't want to have to do that. We really don't.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Um going back to DOC's tours and such, do you feel like there's a point within like every tour that you're just firing on all cylinders and you're just in the
Yeah.
groove?
It's usually like, for me at least, a little past the halfway mark where we've gotten over the jet lag. We're starting to get tour tight, and then we're starting to get on schedule of whatever time zone we're in. And we could like, that's when I think we really lock in. Yeah.
Do you feel like when you're in that groove that not only Paul but everybody else is in that same kind of
Yeah.
mentality?
Yeah. You could, yeah. There's like a thing that happens, at least with, I'm sure it happens with a lot of bands, but we're like kind of will like all kind of look at each other between certain songs, being like, that was pretty fucking good. Like, I think we played that pretty well tonight.
And then you look out in the audience and they're
They're just like,
they
yeah,
hit you with the
okay.
oh
No,
man.
no, no, no. It's usually a lot of like momentum given from the audience too that like propels you to play a really good show, at least for me. So yeah, it's like a whole thing where everything kind of clicks and everyone in the band notices it. And we're like, we're kind of killing it, I think. I hope.
And they never say to you that was actually
You
really.
guys are actually pretty good tonight. Wow.
Is there a song from the catalog that perfectly describes what the band's sound is to you?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that exactly like that, but for me personally, I think Intercepted Message is my favorite record of ours that I've been on because that kind of put together a lot of what I really like and just like the music I listen to. Like I love Devo, and that record's really Devo-y to me. So personally, that's my favorite record of ours, probably. Like that's just more in line with what I like to play and what I like to listen to and stuff.
I like that answer, Dan.
Thank you.
It's a good answer. Is there a song that sticks out to you that you remember piecing together that just kind of changed shape along the way of from its initial original idea to what was finally put out from the recorded version?
Yeah, I'm gonna fail. I can't remember what it's called because it was so long ago, but I think it's the opening track from Face Stabber that's really proggy. Fuck, I can't remember what it's called right now. But there's like four different intros before we get into the main song. And I think that went through a lot of like working and figuring out. And I think if I remember correctly, Thomas had a lot to do with that because he is that kind of mind. He's like a incredible musician, and he's really, if we're like hitting a writing block or whatever, he has like a mind that could be like, well, naturally the progression would go like this, but we could turn that around. Like he has like a piano player's brain. So I think he had a lot to do with that. But I can't remember the song. We played it at Red Rocks. It's really long and it gets all proggy, and there's like different bits in the intro.
That's more than enough information for people to find it. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. You know which one we know which one that we're talking
yeah.
about now, but we just kind of want to make it a game for other people to find it and go listen to the Red Rocks.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a big clue. So, yeah. Um, yeah, and did you work with Thomas in his studio to record or to work out that your album, Spotlight City?
No, no, I didn't. I was gonna probably toss whenever I was done with this next one. I was gonna send it to him to maybe if he wanted to take a crack at mixing it or something. But no, no, he didn't really touch the Spotlight City. But the next one, he probably will help me with it a little bit. Everything he touches in that studio, I think, sounds really good. He has a good ear for especially the kind of music I'm making right now. So he's, I would love to. I already talked to him about it. He's like, yeah, just send it my way. I'll run it through what I like to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thomas is amazing.
He really is
Yeah, his when I became familiar with them was with Mr. Elevator in the Brain Hotel, and that had like a huge impact. I just remember listening to that album quite
yeah.
often. Yeah.
That second one he did, that last one he put out, I think is fantastic. And it sounds perfect.
The one with the it's just Mr. Elevator on the front with the blue.
Yeah, like Blue Sky or something like that. Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Blue Elevator
Yeah.
Sky.
Something like that. Yeah. But I think that record is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. Yeah, Thomas is a good musician. Um,
Talented. You can quote me on that.
yeah.
Thomas
Nope.
is a good musician.
It's gonna be on the hype sticker of the new album,
Yeah.
perhaps.
Yeah, me hyping. I'll put it on my new record.
Yeah.
Thomas, Mr. Elevator is a great musician. Dan Rincon.
When you get records and it comes with little inserts, little posters,
Mhm.
what do you do with those little posters?
I usually keep them in, or there's some if it's something I really like, especially on like an old record. Like for instance, No Other by Gene Clark. When I found an old pressing of that that has this beautiful poster. I framed that one. But usually, unless it's something I will really want to display, I keep it in. I'm really anal about like the way the condition I keep my records in and stuff like that, and like all the little things that come with it.
Mhm. Even the little like if there's a digital download thing to it.
I don't throw them away, so they're probably still in the records. Yeah, I never cash them in though.
Do you like to seal it back up with the saran wrap after you're done playing them?
No, I take the saran wrap off.
No.
Even if it has a hype sticker, I do that. I don't like the way saran wrap looks on records, and over time, it can damage the record.
Yeah, but I thought that you reseal them. You like totally reseal them to like
I
it's
get a like a heat gun, and
yeah.
yeah,
Do you view songs from the OC's catalog that you worked on years ago? Uh, do you view them in a different light or hear them in a different way now?
I don't know, but there are times where uh, we'll be somewhere like a restaurant or a bar or whatever, and there'll be a song on from a record I played on, but that we don't really do live that I hadn't listened to in 5, 6 years, and I'll be like, what is this? I don't know. Do I have this record? Like, what is this? And then a friend or somebody would be like, this is fucking you, idiot. I'm like, oh, right.
What is that like hearing hearing something
It's
like
con
that?
it's confusing. When I figure out it's me, I'm like, oh, duh, I am a moron. But it's just like a weird thing where I'm like, what? I know this song. Like, I know the beats to it. I'm like, okay, what is this? Yeah, it's just confusing.
Yeah, and it is pretty fucking rocking, right?
Sometimes, yeah, I hope so.
We're gonna have to do some manipulation on that and say, yeah, no, of course, it's
Yeah,
awesome
it rocks.
because it's rocking. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
um. Does time usually change the way that you view or hear all songs?
I guess so. I've been like recently getting back into like bands, like records I sold when I was really younger, being like, I don't listen to this anymore. And then now that time has passed, I'm like, fuck, I wish I still had that record. I feel like listening to that. So I've been like slowly buying back records from like when I was pretty young. So yeah, probably. Without really thinking about it, probably it does.
Do you feel like over time the songs from Spotlight City uh will be different for you? You'll hear them in a different way.
I mean, they're they kind of are, I guess. Like there's a song like I was saying earlier that I cut from it that now doing my next record, I listened back to it and I was like, man, I really wish I liked that song and I wish I included it and I don't want to throw it away. So I'm going to put on my next record. So yeah, definitely. It's also like with your own music, at least for me, after you listen to it 300 times, you're like, I'm very sick of this. And then you take a break and then you hear it again, like a year down the line, you're like, oh, actually, it was pretty good. I should have held on to that one.
You gotta just kind of distance yourself from it a bit if you're
Yeah.
submerged.
I do that with like OC's records. Like if we get, a rough cut of whatever record we're working on, I'll listen to it a bunch and then having already recorded it and stuff, it's like I've heard this song a lot and then I'll shelve it for a while and then revisit it like when the album's about to release. And it gives you can listen to it with like fresh ears or something like that.
Is there one that you had to step away from for a good long time before it was?
I don't think there's one in particular. Maybe Foul Form, because that was just like a lot. It's like the punker one. But I really like that record, so I don't know. It's just something I do in general with music that I have a part of, where I have to listen to it a lot. But I just take a break from it and then revisit with fresher ears. Yeah.
I like that. I like that answer, Dan. Um, have you been able to perform these songs from this album live?
No, I don't think it's possible. They're kind of lost, like with that kind of equipment. Once you unplug a system like that, it's hard to recreate. So no, I don't think I can do that. I'm gonna be playing shows once I have a little more time, but it's usually every show I do is I'll prepare something and then a lot of it is kind of improvised, like improvised electronics. There's a few from the next one that I could probably do because I'm using a specific instrument for some of it, but yeah, it's just kind of it would be too difficult. And a lot of that's like multi-tracking, and for one person, I don't know if I'd be able to do it live.
So you're gonna bring a team in to help
Yeah,
coordinate this?
no. I've been talking to one friend about doing like a duo night, but we wouldn't be able to do any of the songs from the record probably. They're lost, you know.
Straight up, I'm just gonna ask if this is who I'm thinking is it Neil Young?
You'll just have to wait and find out.
That probably means yes. If I
Could be.
if I'm reading that correctly.
Maybe, may not, we'll see.
All right. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Uh, so you're not gonna tour with these songs. These are just kind of like these live in a certain moment kind of
Yeah.
songs,
Yeah. Yeah. That's the nature of a modular synthesizer sometimes. It's like very temporary stuff.
right? I mean, if I didn't already have a copy, I would say like, wow, this is a really special album to own because when am I gonna hear it again? You know?
Never.
Uh,
Yeah.
wow. Think a lot of people, if they don't have it, I mean, should really kind of take that into consideration.
Run to your nearest record store right after this interview.
Yeah,
We need Spotlight City.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knock on the door. If it says we will return in 5 minutes, say that's not soon enough. So
Break the door down.
break it down. Well, I mean, we don't condone that because we are law-abiding citizens and we're
Oh,
pretty good
okay, yeah.
drivers. But
Yeah, that is true.
yeah, some other
Yeah.
people
Just
would.
wait patiently and then we need that record. I gotta have it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But then when you get back outside, you go, I got the record.
I gotta listen to this. Yeah.
Isn't that the best? You go, oh,
That's the
I'm gonna
best.
listen to this.
Yeah.
Oh boy, am I gonna listen to this one. Um, what do you want people to take away from this record, Spotlight City?
I just hope people get a kick out of it and enjoy listening to it as much as I enjoyed making it. It's a very niche record. It's definitely not for everybody. So, you know, I hope people get it. I've had a couple people that bought it that have told me things like, I don't know anything about this music, and this is like a new type of music for me. And I hope that opens doors to people to, because there's a plethora of music like that that's beautiful and wonderful. And I hope it gets, people excited about listening to that kind of music.
That is genuinely a good answer. I'm not fucking around. There's been a lot of fucking around on this episode, but
Yeah.
that was special. Um, Dan, thank you so much for coming back on here. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Sorry, there was some back and forth. It was busy time. Yeah, but I'm
Well,
glad I got to do it again.
yeah, I mean, it's always busy time with your surfing, skating, just
Driving.
general driving, general
Yeah.
ne'er do wellness,
Yeah.
not criminally, but just like,
No.
I mean, you're the kind of guy that if you're at a restaurant with you, let's say you're gonna undo the salt shaker, and then you get salt everywhere. Like that's the
Yeah.
kind of.
Tie the waiter's shoelaces together.
But
You
you're so
know.
quick with it, and last time I saw you, I was not expecting it. I said, not me. They could never
I
happen to me.
gotcha. I got him. We got him. Yeah.
He got me. And everybody just be on the lookout. Yeah, maybe Velcro, invest in that before you go
Yeah.
see the OCs.
Yeah.
No, but Dan, seriously, thank you so much, man. And I'm stoked that the new album's out. But before I let you go, I got to do some promo here. And
Okay.
you're a busy guy, so we got a lot of stuff to get through. Dan's debut album, which we've just been talking about, Spotlight City, is out now via Castle Face Records, and it is streaming everywhere. Wherever you get your music, that's where you can find it. And there's a music video. It's only one music video, right?
Right. Yeah.
For Cessna, and
Mhm.
that's on YouTube. That'll be linked below, whatever you're listening to this on. And where is the best place that people can buy the vinyl now? Just in stores?
In stores, I think Revolver or Mail Order Midhaven. Yeah, I think you can get it from them. But if you really want it, the best thing to do is to tell people that run little record shops, like mom and pop shops, like, "Hey, we'd be interested in doing this," and they could order it for you too, usually. But it's also streaming, so that's yeah.
It's also streaming, and by the time you get down to the local mom and pop shop, if you sit on that information and you don't give it to them right away, it might just be all gone.
Who knows?
Yeah, the digital tracks can be found at your Bandcamp is the best place to buy them.
Yeah, you could buy digital tracks there. If you don't want to do that, you could stream it on Spotify and everything. But yeah, take a listen, see if you like it.
Just take a listen, and if you like it and you want it on both vinyl and your streaming service and a digital copy of it, they can be found at danrincon.bandcamp.com is the best place you can go and get those digital tracks. And everyone can stay up to date with your tour schedule and whatnot, and when you're going to be playing some shows. By following you on Instagram, is that the best place, Dan?
Probably follow me on Instagram. It's RRINCONN. And then theocs.com has all the full tour list.
Yeah, and yeah, the OC's music is streaming everywhere. People can find the vinyl at the Bandcamp, which is at OC's, this OHSES.bandcamp.com, and everybody can find the merch through waxface.com, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Perfect. And yeah, everybody can stay up to date with the dates for the shows and whatnot by visiting the website at theocs.com and by following OC's underscore merch underscore official. Is it the official
I
one that
think that's the only official thing of ours. Yeah.
so give that a follow on Instagram and give Dan a follow too because I you posted that picture of Family Guy best moments just
Yeah.
on your phone resting on the drum kit. That's amazing. Um yeah, so definitely go follow Dan on Instagram. He's a funny guy. He's a great dude. He's making great stuff and
Thank you.
I would say more great stuff if you weren't here. I don't want to make you uncomfortable, Dan.
Oh, thank you
Uh,
very much.
as a silent partner, I do not want to ruffle feathers, obviously.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that's I was ordered to say that. Um, not naming names. No, Dan, you're
Yes.
amazing. Thank you so much. I'm gonna stop recording this and I'll talk to you in a minute, okay?
Okay. Thanks a lot.